Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter's Movie Reviews. And today I have a good one for you today. I am so excited to share my reaction and review with you of I believe it is in 1992, the 1992 Lifetime Oscar, no, obviously it was not an Oscar winner, the Lifetime movie, A Killer Among Friends. Starring who? Starring Patty Duke and Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Is that her name? Amber Tiffany Thiessen from 90210. Wasn't she in 90210? Anyway, so last night I watched this movie. Okay, now let me explain these Lifetime movie reviews, okay, if you haven't figured it out yet. So my best friend, Tanya Jean, when we get together, she'll like say, tell me a movie or tell me a book. And then I'll be like, okay. But I'll say like, are you going to watch it? Because I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it, if you're going to watch it. And she'll say, no, I'm not going to watch it. And so then I'll like tell her the movie, like how it really happened. Okay. So that's kind of what my Lifetime reactions are. Now, with the more popular new movies and stuff, you get more serious reviews and things like that. But the Lifetime movie reviews, I'm having so much fun. And you guys seem to enjoy them too. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. So number one, two important things. Okay. I am a new exclusive member of the Lifetime Movie Club. You can be too for $4.99 a month, okay? Anybody can be. But it's very, very exclusive. It's so exclusive that they don't even have half the movies that I'm looking for, okay? But I'm an exclusive member of the Lifetime Movie Club. I got it as a plug-in on Amazon Prime, but I think you can just buy the app or whatever, okay? No, this is not sponsored. Number two, I am also an exclusive member of the Lifetime Movie fan group on the Facebook, okay? And so people are constantly posting like what their favorite movies are and like Lifetime movies from the 90s that I completely forgot about. I have not seen most of these movies, which is so fun because I'm going back and I'm watching these movies that I have never seen before. Yes, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the V.C. Andrews ones, but I'm going back. Last night, this gal posted like her top 20 Lifetime movies, like in order of what you have to watch them. And number 4 on there was I Know My First Name is Steven, which is like my favorite Lifetime movie of life, which I'll probably watch again and react to over here. But anyway, so I was like looking at her list, and number 1 was this movie called A Killer Among Friends. And people in the comment section were like, oh my God, Patty Duke is so good in that. I love that movie. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this movie. So I went to go find it in the Lifetime Movie Club. It wasn't there. They've got a lot of the new ones. So if you haven't watched Lifetime movies in a while, the old ones are fantastic. And most of them are based on true stories, as this one was. But the new ones, they are not that great. They really aren't. They don't like hold up to the old days of the Lifetime movies. I mean, maybe in 20 years, we'll look back on the ones from 2025 and think they're fantastic. But the newer ones just really are not that great. The old ones, baby, they are where it's at, okay? So I didn't want to know too much about this before I went into it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this movie. Well, I had to rent it for $3.99. So now my Lifetime Movie Club is now up to $7.99 because I had to rent this movie. I think I also had to rent Mommy Meanest that I rented a while ago. But anyway, I could have bought it for $9.99, but I was like, I don't think I'm going to want to watch this one ever again. So I just rented it for $3.99. Okay, so I watched this movie. Now, on a very serious note, this movie is based, a lot of the Lifetime movies are based on true stories. This movie is based on the murder of Michelle Avila. I believe it happened in the late 80s, early 90s. So this made-for-TV movie was based on that. And the movie is called A Killer Among Friends, and it's with Patty Duke, okay? But it also stars, what's her name? Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I think that's her name. Isn't that her name? Tiffany Amber Thiessen. It says Tiffany Thiessen. I guess she dropped the Amber. I probably would too. But anyway, so no offense to no Ambers out there, okay? Listen, I know you take your name very seriously. But anyway, so let me tell you about this movie. You want me to tell you about this movie? Okay. So when the movie starts, okay, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she's like in high school, and it's like she's going into her senior year, and she's like hot stuff, okay? Like all the boys want her, and all the girls wish they were her. That's who Tiffany Amber Thiessen is, okay? Like she walks through the mall, and she's like checking out like her hair and everything like that, right? But she's real humble, okay? She's like, oh, who, me? But then she's kind of like checking out her butt and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I wish I was her. No, true story. Anyway, she's got it going on, okay? And her mom, her name's Jenny Monroe, okay, in the movie. I don't think she's any relation to Marilyn, but I don't know. But anyway, her mom, so her name's Jenny Monroe, and she's like, everybody loves her. And her mom, who's played by Patty Duke, she thinks that everybody loves Miss Jenny. She's like, everybody loves Jenny, and she even tells, the detective is played by Loretta Swit. Do you remember Loretta Swit? Oh my God, I loved her so much. Loretta Swit from MASH back in the day. But anyway, so Patty Duke, when it starts, they have like one of the above ground pools. Do you know what I'm talking about? Them above ground pools. We have a lot of them. I live in Indiana. We got a lot of them above ground pools in Indiana. You know, those round shaped ones. Anyway, you see like if you're watching TV, they have those commercials and it's like family leisure, get your pool, $4.99 installed today. And it's like those above ground pools that have like the ladder, the stairs that walk up to them and stuff like that. Okay. So, I think her mom's name is Jeannie in the movie. So, Jeannie's having a barbecue for, like, all the kids that are going back to school, okay? And it's Jenny and all her friends, okay? And, so she's having this barbecue for all of her friends. Now, Patty Duke, who's Jeannie, I think is her name in the movie. I don't even know. This is where people get real serious and they're like, you need to do your research. You don't even know that it's a Lifetime movie, okay? Get over it. It's an hour and 28 minutes long. Anyway, so, let's call her Patty. Okay, so Patty... She's like the mom. Okay, it don't really work, okay? Because, like, I had friends of mine whose parents were like this, that, like, let the kids drink and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in high school, you shouldn't do that, okay? It's bad. But anyway, but she's like that mom, but she don't let the kids drink and stuff like that. But they're all like, you're my mom. She's like, I'm everybody's mom. But just because, like, she gives great advice, I don't buy it, okay? But that's who Patty Duke is in the movie. And so Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Jenny, she comes to her mom and she's like, me and my best friend, her best friend's name is Ellen, okay? And she's like, me and Ellen, we're just kind of drifting different ways because Ellen done had a baby, okay? Her baby's name is Colette or Candace or Charlene, I don't know, some C name. Her baby's, anyway, she got this baby, okay? Now, they're seniors in high school. The baby looks like it's about 4, okay? So you put the math together, but they act like she just had the baby last year, okay? So Jenny and Ellen are drifting apart, okay? Because she don't have this baby. And Patty Duke, who's the best mom in the entire world, is like, no, I'm real proud of Ellen. Like, Ellen's done really good and all this kind of stuff. And she's taking real good care of Charity. And you should be really nice to her because she's like a great mom to Candace and things like that. I don't know what the girl's name is. Anyway, this baby just cries through the whole thing. Anyway, so then Tiffany's like, well, I guess. And then they go out to this river. Well, you know she's going to die. Okay, first of all, when you watch it. I didn't look up nothing about the true story after I was done with the movie. Because I didn't want it ruined for me, okay? So I was like, you just know this Tiffany Amber Thiessen's going to be murdered. You just know it. And you know it's like one of her closest friends because the movie is called A Killer Among Friends. Let's not like brain math. You know what I mean? So anyway, brain math. You can tell I'm not that bright, which is why I'm reviewing Lifetime movies, okay? And we're not over here talking about Stephen Hawking. But anyway, no, but true story. I hardly got through high school. I mean, if in high school somebody said one day you'll be reviewing Lifetime movies, now that I probably would have believed, okay? But anyway, so then her and Ellen, they decide they're going to be best friends again, and they go out to this river, okay, which is where Ellen ends up killing Amber, but we're going to get, not Amber, sorry, Jenny, but we're going to get to that part in just a second. But then they have this tree, okay, and they carve on there like Jenny and Ellen love each other forever. And then Ellen like closes up her knife and puts it in her back pocket. Now, at that point was when I was like, why did this gal that she's like just such a good person and she has a baby, why does she have this knife in her back pocket, this switchblade knife? Like, that don't make no sense, okay? I mean, they're not like country or anything. But she just got this switchblade knife that she carries around with her forever. So anyway, okay, so then Ellen, this didn't track either, okay? She was adopted. I mean, I think maybe this is because of 1992, but I think we know enough about adoption and stuff like that today. Like, I've got so many friends of mine that are adopted, and they're like, I mean, their adoptive parents are their parents and things like that, right? So Ellen goes in this whole thing about, like, she was adopted and her parents have never seen her as, like, their child kind of thing, and her dad didn't want her or something like that. So then she goes and she lives with her boyfriend, okay? And his name was Dan. And then Tiffany, Amber, Jenny, she comes over one night and Ellen's like yelling at Charity or Candace or whatever the baby's name is. She's like, you do that one more time, you're going to get a swat in the face and all this kind of stuff. And Jenny's looking at her like, no. So then she's like, can you go get the bottle from the kitchen? So Jenny goes to get the bottle from the kitchen. And when she comes back in, because she used to date Dan, okay? She used to date all these girls' like all their boyfriends, she used to date them back in the day. So anyway, sloppy seconds. But anyway, okay. So, but we won't get into that. So anyway, so he like pulls her in the chair and he like kisses her, but Ellen only sees the end of it. And then she's like, get out of here, like, you're not my friend. So then Jenny's real upset. And then Ellen tries to make up for her, and so she buys her this bikini, okay? Or she steals this bikini at the mall, and then they both get arrested for it, and they get in trouble, and then Patty Duke, she's pissed at her. And so then Jenny figures out, well, you're not really my friend because you got me into trouble, okay? And so she don't want to be friends with Ellen no more. Well, Ellen's pissed that she doesn't try to kiss her boyfriend, okay? And then there's this other girl, and her name's Carla. She's just drugged out all the time. She's just a mess. I mean, she's just straight up a mess. Well, then Carla and her ex, her boyfriend Steve, they break up. And then, of course, Jenny starts dating Steve. But she's like, I got to ask Carla first, you know, because bros before hoes kind of thing, right? Okay. I mean, they try to make it out like Jenny's like, she does all the right things and it's never her fault and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay. And I believe it, too, because it's a Lifetime movie. But anyway, so then, Jenny, like, she doesn't show up one night, and Patty Duke sleeps on the front porch in the glider and things like that. She got a blanket, and she's all stressed out. And then they find Jenny's body, and her body is like in the river right by the tree where they done carved their names in it. But now the tree says, it doesn't say Ellen and Jenny forever. It says Ellen will love Dan forever, and Jenny's name is crossed out. I mean, that's kind of a clue. You know what I mean? But anyway, they done drowned this girl and then put a 100-pound log on her and everything. Okay, then enter Loretta Swit, and she's a detective. And Patty Duke don't think she's doing nothing, okay? She don't ever think Patty Duke has lost her mind because she's lost her daughter. And I feel for her. I really do. I can't even imagine, you know? So anyway, like, she's at the funeral, and the priest is like, she's like having the dry heaves. She can't breathe and stuff like that. And then the priest is like, he's like, yeah, but she's with God now. And Patty Duke's like, there's no God. Like, what? God wouldn't take beautiful, popular Jenny and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay, you got to kind of forget it's really a true story and just watch the Lifetime movie because it's too much. It's just too much. But anyway, so then Patty Duke is like, fuck you, detectives. You're not doing anything, and I don't believe that you got this figured out. So did I just say the swears? Okay. She says, F you to Loretta Swit. Loretta Swit, she's like, I'm going to solve this murder. So then Carla, the other girl who's pissed at Jenny, Jenny and Ellen, they don't act like they are fazed at all that their friend died, okay? Not like really. Like when she's around Patty, Ellen always is like, oh my God, I miss Jenny so much. But then she's like wearing her leather jacket and stuff. And Patty's like, get that leather jacket off. It's so weird, okay? So anyway, but you figure out real early that like Ellen and Carla, they done murdered their friend, okay? And they're trying to cover it up. So Carla comes up with this idea. She calls in a tip that it was these dudes she tells Patty that she took Jenny to the park and that these dudes driving this red Monte Carlo, they done picked up Jenny, and then she never saw her again. She's like, can you have Jenny call me when she gets home? She went with these dudes in a red Monte Carlo. Do y'all remember Monte Carlos? I forgot about Monte Carlo. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about those cars. Anyway, I did another swear. So anyway, so then they can't figure out. Then they find Jenny, and she's murdered, and then they have the funeral, all kind of stuff. Okay, so then this is when you know that, like, Ellen, she truly is like the murderer of the world, right? She is one sick lady, this Ellen, okay? So anyway, the truth behind it is, like, Carla and Ellen, they both murdered Jenny. Okay, that's the end of it. And then at the end, in real life, one of them, I think Carla, got out after 21 years in prison, but the other one, who would be Ellen, she's still doing life in prison. So anyway, I guess the justice system does work. So anyway, then Ellen says to Patty, she's like, I think I should move into your house, and we should be a team, and we'll solve the murder together. And Patty's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my God, so many swears. Anyway, 75 cents for the customer. Okay, so then she's like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. But she wants to move into Jenny's room. She does like real weird stuff. Like she sits at like Jenny's vanity and she like puts on her lingerie. She doesn't put it on. She just like straps it over her and she like sprays on her perfume and puts her makeup on. And then she calls Carla and she's like, hey, Carla, it's Jenny. I mean, Ellen, how are you doing? Okay, so then she's living in the house and like every time Patty thinks that it's like they're getting in the right, going the right way, that they're trying to figure it out, like Ellen steers her in the other direction, okay? And she's like, no, it says we got to go after this red Monte Carlo. And then Loretta Swit, the detective, she's getting real pissed because Patty and Ellen are getting involved. Like Ellen's got her out in the street and she's like, oh, I saw this guy on a motorcycle today and I think it was him because he and Jenny, they used to F and stuff like that. And Patty's like, yeah, I saw him. He's the one that ran her off the road. And so then they like go hunt down this motorcycle guy and Patty like walks right up to him. You know, Patty, she's like 50, 60 years old in the movie. And she like walks right up to him. She's like 2 feet shorter than him. And Ellen's like, get him. And then she's like, you murdered my daughter. And he's like, I didn't murder your daughter, but she deserved it because she thought she was hot shit. And then Patty just hits it. And then he goes into this like, do you remember back in the day when they used to put canned food up in the window of like a grocery store? He falls right through. Then she's going to get charged, but she doesn't because Loretta Swit feels bad for her. But then she's like, you got to stay out of my investigation because I'm trying to solve it. But Ellen keeps on sending her on all these leads, right? So then Loretta Swit has this sit down with her and she's like, listen, you got to stay out of my investigation because you're messing things up, okay? And she's like, what do you know about this Ellen? So then Patty is so stupid. She gets into the car and she goes, because Ellen drives her everywhere, okay? And she goes, I don't know what she did without Ellen living in her house. But anyway, takes her kid to school and does everything, cleans the house and everything. The only thing she don't do is take care of her own child. Patty does all that. What's her name? Cherish or something like that. Anyway, Candace, Charity, I don't know. So anyway, so then she gets in the car and she says to Ellen, she goes, guess who they think did it? You. Well, then Ellen's like, I mean, this gal, she loses her effing mind, okay? So I just know at this point, Ellen has ran this gal she has ran Patty all over town on these leads that just don't make no sense at all, right? She's pulling people out of red Monte Carlos and all this kind of stuff. And so, I mean, it's too much. It's all just a bunch of people smoking weed in parks anyway, right? And then Carla comes up with this whole theory that Jenny was trying to buy cocaine from somebody at the park, okay? This guy named Encino or something. But he done died a month ago. I mean, these girls are like in the know. I mean, like Ellen and Carla, they should be running the mafia or something because they are always 3 steps ahead of the police, right? That's when Loretta Swit has the conversation with Patty. Okay, so then Patty tells Ellen that they think it's her and Ellen loses her mind. This is the best scene in the entire movie, okay? So then Ellen, they're all sitting there, they're having a family gathering. Patty's son and his wife, and she's expecting a baby, and the other son, Adam, and he's like in high school or junior high or something like that. They're all sitting around, it's like Christmas time. And Ellen comes out like this. And she's like, my daughter Charity just had the dream. And she's like, got her arms out like this. And she's like, I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, oh, she's going to pull some psychic shit here. And she's like, my daughter Charity had this dream and Jenny was talking to her. She's like, Jenny was like drowning in water and she had this log put on her. And she's like, and it was the cocaine dealer. Like this 2-year-old child is telling her it was a cocaine dealer, right? And she's like, I feel like Jenny's speaking to me. And then the little girl, and then Patty's like, what? And then the little girl comes out of the room. And she's like, Jenny's drowning. It's the cocaine dealer. She doesn't say the cocaine dealer. But anyway, then they're like, what? And then Ellen's like, The Walking Dead. She's like, we have to go to the river. She's like, Jenny's calling me to the river. This would never happen, okay? So then Jenny's brother and his wife and the younger brother, she has to stay home to watch the mom. Jenny's older brother, a friend, Carla's ex, Steve, who's now Jenny's boyfriend, and Ellen, she's walking like this. They all go out to the woods, okay? That's where they see the tree where the carving's in. And Ellen's like, she's talking to me out here. She's telling me what happened. I'm like, girl, you have lost your mind. You're now saying that Jenny's talking to you in the dead. Okay, so it's just too much. It just is too much, right? Okay, so then this one girl, Kathy, she done witnessed the whole thing. Well, she comes over and she tells Ellen at one point, she's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I gotta tell, like, I feel so bad for what, because she done had a brother that died. So she knows what real grief is like. That's what she tells the police. So Ellen, like, holds a knife to her neck and she, like, cuts her face, but it's, like, real superficial. It's, like, a real small cut. And she's like, you need to, she's in high school, okay? She's like, you need to move out of town now, or I'm gonna cut your tongue out. And so this girl, who's, like, 17, moves out of town. Because she's scared for her life, right? Okay. So then she finally goes to the police because she can't do it anymore. She can't handle it. And then she sells Carla and Ellen up the river, okay? And then Carla is like, she's spewing all these stories, and Loretta Swit's like, Patty, get in here. Listen to these lies. And so then she arranges for Patty to be there while they arrest Ellen. And then Ellen comes in the police station, and she goes, yeah. She goes, can we get this over quick? I don't got all day. And then she looks over and Patty's over there and she goes, oh, hi, Patty. And all the police officers are standing up and stuff. She knows she is so effed. And she's like, let me out of here. Let me out of here. And then it ends with the 1-year birthday of the new granddaughter. It ends real nice. And then Patty's happy and everybody's happy. But then she, like, stands out on the patio and her son Adam comes out there and he's like, Mom, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing's wrong. She's like, I'm just looking at the sky, thinking about how grateful I am for my life. And then Adam walks inside and she's like, I hope you're dancing with or sleeping with the angels, Jenny. And I thought, oh, that's so sweet. It was nice. And then what was even better, though, is Ellen got life in prison. She was crazy. That girl was crazy. I would never want her to be my friend. But you watch these movies, though, and then you think, like, but do I really know my friends? Like, do I really? Like, I've known my best friend for 29 years, but now I think I got to ask her some questions. Like, I mean, if she carries a switchblade knife, I'm not letting her carve our names into no tree. I'm just not, okay? But it was so good. It was so bad. It was so good. Killer Among Friends, 1992. You can rent it for $3.99. Plus, it's on this YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel that uploads, I shouldn't be telling you this, but they upload all of the Lifetime movies. I think her name's Megan or something like that. Anyway, you can find them on the YouTube. Just go look at her channel. Anyway, let me know Lifetime movie recommendations, the best ones that I have to see in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.